We have to now call out, the hypocrisy here, okay? Yak Gotti turned down the plea deal. Yak said, "Hey, I'm taking it to trial." Thug took the plea deal. We said Gunna was a rat because Thug was fighting and Gunna took the plea.
No.
Gotti
So
fighting
what's
his
up?
body,
That's
though.
not
Slow
true.
down. Slow down, Flocko.
Bro.
Okay.
We didn't say Gunna was a rat because he took a plea. We said Gunna was a rat because we heard him implement Thug and the drugs and guns. We heard him say YSL
is a game.
Right. And Thug played no contest to that, right?
YSL needs to be stopped.
Right.
We ain't tripping your plea.
I was in the vehicle.
Take a plea don't mean you a rat. You can take a plea. We just heard Thug's plea. The only thing Thug said was apologizing to his family, people we put this through, and that's it.
No factual acknowledgments from the state. Zero factual acknowledgments from the state. Zero.
Wait, though. And he pled no context when they asked him, was YSL like a criminal streak or something like that, right? And he said like no contest or something like that, right?
No contest is not admitting to it.
Now, since Young Thug has came home from accepting his plea deal, I done seen a few platforms of people asking the question, what's the difference in Young Thug's guilty plea and Gunna's guilty plea, right? Now, being that the rapper Gunna done faced a whole lot of scrutiny and labels snitching, and Young Thug is out here getting all this welcome home love, well, being that I don't got a dog in this fight, and I'm here strictly just to call a ball and a strike, well, I'm going to break down the difference and why which is Gunna, why his is frowned upon and Young Thug's plea isn't. Now, here you got Gunna's plea, and to sum it up, these are the real questions that the prosecutor at the time needed him to acknowledge to proceed and strengthen the YSL RICO. So we're going to play Gunna's plea, what he accepted, and the questions they asked and what he acknowledged, and further to accept his plea deal. And then we're going to come back and break the difference between Young Thug from when he accepted his plea deal. We're going to break down the two. And not only breaking down the two, I'm going to explain why Gunna faced scrutiny for snitching and why Young Thug is getting love. Check this out, then we coming right back.
Please state after each statement whether or not you agree or acknowledge that statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped the vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocodone, methamphetamines, and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL the gang to the detriment of my community. YSL as a gang must end. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
Now, for the RICO charge to be stamped as YSL being the gang and Young Thug the leader, you first needed a credible witness to testify that the YSL was a gang, and that was phase 1, which Gunna acknowledged. Yes, YSL is a gang, but it all went bad in phase 2, you see, when you had active alleged members, who would testify and paint the narrative that Young Thug was the leader, but it all went left when YSL Woody and Mook Toonk, switched up their play on the stand, which unfortunately sent Mook Toonk back to prison. So as you can hear in the Gunna clips, as he is accepting his plea deal, he is stamping to the prosecutor's allegations on the way out the door. Now, Young Thug knows there's still 2 co-defendants fighting their case left, right? And of course, the prosecutors want Young Thug to do the same, but Young Thug had other plans because he if I pretty much don't debunk their allegations on the way out the door, they liable to use what's left against my co-defendants, which is fighting their case. Which then you have Young Thug's lawyer making his statements as well before Young Thug is out the door. Check this out and we coming back.
It is a lie. What the prosecution put before this jury is a lie. What happened here is the prosecution comes up with a theory because they need a motive, they think. I know you don't need a motive in reality to prove a murder case or any other case, but they wanted a motive. So they made it where Mr. Williams and a gentleman named Rich Homie Kwan, his name is Mr. Lamar, he's a performer, and Mr. Williams and Mr. Lamar were close. There are public documents, recordings, Mr. Lamar being interviewed almost every year, and then he talks about his time with this band or group called Rich Gang. Jeffrey would have been found not guilty of everything, so this is very painful. But that's another 3 months or so in custody, and he wants to go home to his family, and negotiations totally broke down with the district attorney's office. Horribly broke down. And at that point, we believe that justice would be found with the honorable court. And Jeffrey just wanted to go home. How agonizing it is to know that we've spent a year trying a case where the prosecutors have put on lies, knowing lies, hiding evidence, is insane in 2024 in the United States of America. And the only reason that this got revealed is because of you people.
Now, when Young Thug took his plea deal, right, Young Thug only acknowledged the crimes he copped out to, nobody else's. So for anyone wanting to know the difference in the two plea deals, one deal, which is Gunna's, insinuates, or should I say implicates others, with acknowledging the prosecution team is accurate in the allegations that they making, right? And Young Thug's plea deal is simply, to sum it up, I'm taking this deal because I want to be free, not because the prosecution's allegations are true. Matter of fact, the allegations are far from true. And I'm taking this deal that's on the table because I want to be free. I know that I got co-defendants still fighting their case, and any accusations that I'm acknowledging to that is not on my behalf, on my way walking out the door, can affect my co-defendants as they still remain fighting their charges and fighting their case, right? Now, I'm sure that you can see me walking out the door, if I'm one of the two, right, accepting my plea deal, any questions or me acknowledging anything that's not on behalf of my plea deal, I'm sure you can understand how that can go against somebody still on this case, still fighting they charges. That's the difference between the two, right? So if you're still confused, I don't know what to tell you. That's the difference between the two plea deals. One plea deal, which is Gunna, insinuates, implicates others in the alleged crimes. Young Thug's plea deal is pretty much, I'm only acknowledging what I'm copping out to on my behalf, nobody else's. I can't speak for what anybody else is involved in. I'm only accepting my fault, my guilt. And that's the difference between the two. This Bezo, I said what I said. Y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. We're going to keep you updated, never outdated. Peace.